Once again, in 50 Cent's Ghetto Quran, there's a line in there. He said, as a youth, all I ever did was sell crack. I used to idolize Cat, Fat Cat. Hurt me to my heart to hear that N-word snitched on Pap. How he go out like that?
Yeah, well, he got put in a bad position.
Fat Cat.
Yeah, after it. He needed to cooperate. They had threatened him with, I think, locking up his wife, and they might have even locked her up at one point for, being a part of the conspiracy or money laundering charges, etc. So, hey, look, he didn't have to, but he did. And it was better for him to do his time in the feds in a WITSEC facility than it would have been in a state prison. Yeah, I still think he did it to save his ass. I don't think it was entirely because of the tactics of law enforcement by going after members of his family who were culpable in the different conspiracy he was doing. They had the wives watching the money, taking bags here and there. So they weren't, innocents in the whole thing,
What exactly did he say about Pappy Mason?
That I don't know.
But he did cooperate against Pappy Mason.
I know he did say that that Pappy had told him what he wanted to do, and he told him not to do it. That I know, but not much else.
Is he still locked up, Fat Cat?
Yeah, he's in state prison somewhere.
Okay, so he ended up in state prison eventually.
Yeah, he got thrown out of WITSEC. And so he had, the deal was he would be able to do his time in Club Fed, and now he's in some horrible state prison upstate New York.
Okay. Do you think he's ever getting out?
Hopefully not, but, who knows? I mean, strange things happen. There's a lot of sociopaths, psychopaths in there. A lot of guys who were in for drug. Like if we couldn't get you on a homicide back in the day and you ran a drug crew, when they changed the drug sentencing guidelines for crack, you could get more time locking a guy up on a conspiracy to distribute crack cocaine than you could for a murder that he committed, let's say, in the Bronx. And so there's a lot of guys who are in there on drug cases now who are really violent guys. And the way things are going, a lot of them will probably make their way out.
Well, yeah, I remember at one point, Fat Cat's house got firebombed.
Yeah.
And people died. People got badly burned.
Yes. I think a sister or something like that, right?
It was a real mess. Like the level of violence, I mean, not only the quantity of the violence, but the intensity of the violence during that time was insane.
Yeah, I don't know if you've ever talked to Glaze.
I have. Yeah. Brian Glaze Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah, he would know all that stuff too. He was around back then. I don't know when he went in, but he was around for that stuff.
Well, yeah. I mean, Glaze had a whole bunch of murders and he ended up cooperating.
Right.
And then that's how he was able to come home.
Right.
And I also interviewed Bimmy, who was part of the Supreme Team.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
Okay. And Bimmy never really did any real jail time. I mean, I think he did a little something and then he came home and he was done.
Yeah.
Why do you think Bimmy was able to just really avoid these really harsh sentences like that?
Well, I've heard that, lately everyone's trying to say that Bimmy was a snitch or whatever. If he was, it would be like small-time snitch, like for the local, detective unit in one of the precincts or something. But I never heard of him being a snitch in narcotics or any of the other bigger units. But he was around back in the day and all that. He ended up at Def Jam. I don't know what to make of him. I mean, he was also around with Prince when Preem was away. Do I think he was a rat? No. I mean, look, everybody now has these conspiracies where the guy's a rat, and then you say, well, show me the paperwork, or show me the reduction in his sentence, and then they can't. And then it doesn't matter to them. They just say it's a government conspiracy, there's a shadow government, law enforcement works in some other secret court somewhere, and that's just not true. So, but that's not to say that you couldn't be an informant. A lot of people who were big drug traffickers, I know, and you've probably interviewed, who were government, who were informants for either local PDs or the feds, and it was to get get rid of the competition, or maybe to save their ass from possible murder or whatever. So there are tons of snitches out there, and at very high levels. So